By far, the fastest and most actionable way to improve your photography is to improve your composition, your understanding of space, and how to best arrange the existing landscape around you within the four corners of your camera. In this video, I'm going to be explaining my very simple two-step compositional formula that I follow myself. And no, this is not any BS like the rule of thirds or the golden spiral or any of that crap. Try to think of visual composition like musical composition. There needs to be some sort of structure. Without any rules, you're going to end up with a lot of noise. However, if you do follow some guidelines as a base for your composition, you can come away and create a really strong melody. The same ideas can be applied to photography, where if you follow some basic guidelines, you can learn to create a strong composition in any landscape. And without any more fluff, let's go ahead and get into it with step one, which is to find your subject. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I promise you, it is shocking the number of compositions or the number of photographs out there that do not have a strong identifiable subject. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't have multiple subjects within a photo, but whatever you're photographing, you need to have one main, easily identifiable subject in the photo. That can be a tree, that can be a mountain, it can be a canyon, it can be a river. Whatever it is, you need to have a very easily identifiable main subject in the photo that the viewer can instantly latch onto and identify. It is important for you to understand that just because something is pretty to your eyes does not mean it will make a good photograph. So moving on to step two, which this one is a little bit more complicated, you need to find a way to make that subject the star of your image and also connect it to everything else in the frame. Now, I know this sounds like baby stuff or like photography 101, but please bear with me. So there are a few tried and true ways to connect your main subject with the rest of your photograph. And the first one, it's a bit cliche, but we are going to talk about leading lines. Leading lines can be as straightforward as a road or as unexpected as the interplay between light and shadow. You can think big, like a glacier, or something as out of the box as animal tracks. The only guideline is that it must lead to your subject. And remember, the curvier, the better. In this shot, we composed with the camera down very, very low to create a leading line out of the trunk of this crazy wild tree, which is again the main subject. For this shot, mud cracks all over here. They're very interesting, but getting down low and finding a big one helps to create a leading line up to our main subject. Sometimes you might not be able to actually find a leading line within the landscape. However, you can position yourself with the sun to create leading lines in the shadow. So in this case, we have our main subject in our focal point, which is this tree, and the sun casting a shadow to create multiple leading lines up to our main subject. But there are plenty of landscapes and environments that are not going to be conducive to finding leading lines. In these instances, it is best to move on to find another way to accentuate your main subject, like natural framing. If you look hard enough, you can find pre-existing natural frames like holes or rock arches. But really, a natural frame can be made out of anything, from a gap in trees to even a plastic lawn chair. Probably the most common and first thought when it comes to natural frames is of trees. Trees make excellent natural frames. In this case, we have our main subject of a tree, and then it's flanked on either side by tree trunks, which are creating a natural frame for it. Framing type compositions don't always have to be quite so obvious though. In this photograph, we have our main subject, which is this big tower here, and it is flanked on all sides by this wall here, this other spire, and this curve in the landscape, framing it on all sides. So let's say we don't have any leading lines and we don't have any natural frames. How else can we accentuate that main subject? One of the ways we can do so is finding layers leading up to that main subject. When composing photographs with layers, generally speaking, the more layers, the more depth your image is going to have. Aerial perspectives can help you see the layers in a landscape not visible from the ground. At the same time, so can getting very low and close. Sometimes it's not a physical layer, but layers with contrasting colors. Look for landscapes with repeating patterns. And sometimes you can find compositions that include layers, leading lines, and framing, all in one photograph. So let's say we have no leading lines, no natural frames, and no layers leading up to your subject. At this point, we can look for something called a secondary subject or a complementary style composition. This is a perfect example of a complementary composition where neither the bubbles or the mountain are connected, but each end of the frame is still filled with something interesting. A classic complementary style composition is to have flowers in the foreground. These types of shots are always difficult to shoot because of the focus stacking involved, and any wind will make that feel impossible. One of my favorite techniques using this style is to shoot panoramas that include both the subject and the setting sun. Reflections are another great way to fill the foreground space. Just make sure your main subject is centered within the reflection. Whatever you do though, don't bring in props or put in something unnatural. I cringe every time I look at this photo because I purposely put these pieces of driftwood there. Completely fake. Okay, so we come across a scene, really strong subject, but there are no leading lines. There is no natural framing. There are no layers, and there is no complementary subject to use. In this case, I would look and try to see if there's a way to make that subject stand out with the negative space around it. Misty mornings, cloud inversions, snowy landscapes. These are all perfect conditions where you'd want to try and create a composition with negative space. Natural scenes with negative space aren't something you come across every day. The world and nature are chaotic. Finding these scenes can be tricky. Still, if you have a good subject and can eliminate the rest of the distractions, it can make for an outstanding photograph. Okay, so let's say we have a stellar subject, but there is no leading line, there's no complementary composition, there's no natural framing, there are no layers, and there's no way to make it minimalistic or to emphasize the negative space. In these instances, I simply move on. I really like a lot of depth and dimensionality in my photos, and if I don't have a way to incorporate some of those techniques into a photograph, then generally speaking, it's not going to be a photograph that I want to take. If you look at probably like 90% of all the photographs in my portfolio, they're going to include at least some of these compositional techniques in every single photograph. So there it is, a very simple two-step process for improving your composition. If you'd like to join me on a photographic adventure to improve your composition and see incredible places around the world, check out my website, warnerwildernessphotography.com. A huge thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.